If you cannot be persecuted only because you are dead, then persecution is worse than death. Welcome to section 3. Pardon me, an apology again. In the last session, I mentioned that we had just finished chapter 2. No, it was not chapter 2, it's rather section 2. Forgive me for my trespasses. So we finished I'm going to say chapter again. So we finished section 2, and we are now going to section 3 of the 9th chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Tawbah, the surah that doesn't have Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim as the beginning. Namshi. ما كان للمشركين أن يأمروا مساجد الله شاهدين على أنفسهم بالكفر. It is not for such as join gods with Allah. Here I will use Allah because or the big God or the God of the universe, to join small gods with God, to join small gods with God, with Almighty God, to maintain the mosque of God while they witness against their own souls to infidelity. ما كان للمشركين يأمرون مساجد الله شاهدين على أنفسهم بالكفر. شاهدين على أنفسهم بالكفر. شاهدين على أنفسهم بالكفر. شاهدين على أنفسهم بالكفر, while they witness against their own souls to infidelity, بالكفر, to infidelity, while they witness against their own souls to infidelity. شاهدين على أنفسهم بالكفر. أولئك حبطت أعمالهم. أولئك حبطت أعمالهم وفي النار هم خالدين. The works of such hear no fruit. The works of such bear no fruit. In fire shall they dwell. في نار خالدين. In fire shall they dwell. أولئك حبطت أعمالهم. أولئك حبطت أعمالهم. Against their own to infidel. The works of such أولئك habitat أعمالهم bear no fruit. Habitat, bear no fruit. أعمالهم, their works. No commentary for that. We go to section 3, and that was verse 17. We are now going to verse 18, ayah 18, sign 18. إنما يأمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخرة. The mosque of God shall be visited and maintained by such as believe in God. Man amana billahi. Believe in God and the last day. Man amana billahi wal yawmil akhirah. Billahi wal yawmil akhirah. And the last day. Comma. Wa akama asalawata wa ati zakawata. This is very important. eh, eh, And establish regular prayers. Akama salawata wa, wa utu zakawata. Wa ata zakawata. And regular prayers and pay zakat. Ata zakawata and pay zakat. Walam yasha illa Allah. Wala yasha illa Allah. Wala yasha illa Allah. And fear none at all, in brackets, and fear none at all, so in brackets, except God, and fear none at all. Those who pray regularly and give zakat, and fear none at all but God. Even in war, they don't fear anything. They don't fear death except God. Pardon me, I'm a coward. Whether I can do that or not, I don't know. Anyway, God inspires people during war, in times of war, or the anger of the enemy gingers somebody to forget even about death. Like you say, persecution is worse than death. So when the time comes, maybe the cowards will even get angry first. Okay, and fear none but God. Ulaika an yakunu min al-muhtadin. Ulaika an yakunu min al-muhtadin. It is they who are expected to be on guidance. Ulaika an yakunu min al-muhtadin. Min al-muhtadin. There is commentary to that. I think even two commentaries. Let's go. Commentary 1267. See the previous note. Full stop. Sincere believers are those who have faith in God or Allah and the future, who have hope in God and the future. Which future? Yes, future of this world and the future, which is the hereafter. And have a spirit of devotion and charity, a true and abiding spirit, not merely isolated acts now and again. Moreover, they must not bow to worldly greed or or, am, or ambition, to worldly greed or is this word ambition? Okay, I think it's a mistake here. It's written ambition, and ambition is written AMIBITION. The I is not supposed to be there if I'm right. Ambition, which which products which produces fear of worldly power. Moreover, let me take it again. Moreover, they must not bow to worldly greed or ambition, which produces fear of worldly power. 68, 1268. Others may call themselves by what names they like. The guidance is shown by the text here indicated. Yes, you can say, I'm a Muslim, I'm Sheikh, I'm Alaji, I am so and so. But uh, obeying the prayer times, and giving zakat as doing good in all circumstances, and not fearing anything. God. So this is the commentary for it. Others may call themselves by what names they are like, by what names they like. True guidance is shown by the text here indicated. Okay, we go to the next sign. Mm. Aja, aja altum, sik, aja altum, sikan, sikanita, aja altum, sikanita, aja altum, sikayata, alhaj, sikayata alhaj, wa imaratan, imaratan almasjid alharamu, kaman amana billahi wal yawmil ahiratu, wa yawmil ahirat, sorry, واليوم الآخر وجاهد في سبيل الله. Let's see. Do you consider the giving of drink to pilgrims? أجعلتم سكاية الحج to of drink to pilgrimage or the maintenance of the sacred mosque or Imaratul Masjid Haram, the maintenance of the sacred mosque, equal to those who believe in God and the last day and strive with might and pain. Sorry, I haven't read that yet in Arabic. Mm. Uh, uh, Al-Haram, Al-Haram. كما آمن بالله يوم الآخر والجهاد والجهاد في سبيل الله. The sacred, let me take it again. Sorry, let me take it again. Let me go over. Do you consider the giving of drink to pilgrims or the maintenance of the sacred mosque equal to those who believe in Allah, who believe in God, equal to two? Then after that, inverted brackets, the pious service equal to the pious service of those who believe in God and the last day and strive with might and main in the cause of God, fi sabilillah. لا يستوى لا يست no لا يستوون عند الله لا يستوون عند الله. They are not equal in the sight of God. That those who give drink to pilgrimage on the one hand, and those uh, who believe in God and the last day, they are not equal. These two groups are not equal in the sight of God. La yasta'una indallahi. Then here the invocation of God comes again. Wallahu la yahdi kaumal zalimin. Wallahu la yahdi kaumal zahilin. And God guides not those who do wrong. Kaumal zalimin. La yahdi does not guide kaumal, those who do wrong. Kaumal zalimin, those who do wrong. Let's go to the commentary for it. or to the commentary to read. Giving drinks of gold, mhm, giving drinks, giving drinks of cold water to thirsty pilgrims. So drinks here is not referring to alcoholic drinks. Mm. Drinks here doesn't refer to alcoholic drinks. Mm. So let's see. Giving drinks of cold water in tested pilgrims and doing material services to a mosque are meritorious, meritorious acts, but they are only external. If they do not, if they do not touch the soul, their value is slight. If they do not touch the soul, their value is slight. Full stop. For greater in the sight of God, our faith, comma, endeavor and endeavor and self surrender to God. Men who practice these will obtain honor in the sight of God. God's light and guidance comes to them, and not to those self-sufficient and not to those self-sufficient beings who drink who, sorry and not those self-sufficient beings who think that a little show of what the world considers piety is enough. So like you said, there are stages in faith, daraja, stages in faith. uh, Giving cold water to fighters and maintaining the mosque is notable and worthy. But there is something further than that. That's what this verse is telling us. Uh, where is the portion I want to read? When men who practice this will obtain honor in the sight of God. Practice what? For far, did I say for greater? No, I meant to say far greater in the sight of God. Far greater in the sight of God are faith, endeavor, and self-surrender to God. That's one side of it. The other side is of it, which the milder side is giving fighters drink and maintaining the mosque. But the higher side of it, which is far greater in the sight of God, are faith, endeavor, and self surrender to God. Men who practice this will, will obtain honor in the sight of God. God's light and guidance comes to them, and not to those self-sufficient, and not to those self-sufficient beings who think that a little show of what the world considers piety is enough. In other words, you can't measure somebody's faith by the practices on earth, that by the practices that we see with our eyes. No, giving water to cold drinks, giving water to fighters, and maintaining the mosque. Fine, everybody will see you maintaining the mosque, but your faith actually is there. People can do this without having true faith. Yes, it is there. Mm. And let's go to, I think that was 19. Yes, I'm not thinking that was ayah 19. 19. Let's go to ayah 20. Mm. Alazina amanu wa hajaru wa jahadu I like this play. Hajaru wa Jahadu, those who emigrate and then fight. Hajaru wa Jahadu fi sabilillah in the name of God. Bil amwalihim wa anfusihum, with their wealth and their souls, their lives. Azamu darajatun in the lie. Those who believe and emigrate and strive with might and main in God's cause and with their goods and their persons. This is a better interpretation by mine. And with their goods and persons have the highest rank in the sight of God. Darajatun, Akzamu, Darajatan in the Lahi. They have greatest rank in the sight of God. Azam darajatan in the lie. Azam darajatan in the lie. Azam darajatan in the lie. Wa wa ulaika humul faizun. Ulaika humul faizun. Wa ulaika humul faizun. They are the people who will achieve salvation. Faizun. They are those who will achieve salvation. Let's go to the commentary for it. 1270. Here is a good description of jihad. It may require fighting in Allah's cause or in God's cause as a form of self-sacrifice, but its essence consists in one, a true and sincere faith, a true and sincere faith, which so fixes its gaze on God, and all selfish and worldly motives seem paltry and fade away. Paltry, Paltry, and fade away, Fade, seem paltry and fade away. And two, the earnest and ceaseless activity involving the sacrifice, if need be, in brackets, commas, in inverted commas, or in brackets, involving the sacrifice, in commerce, if need be, of life, person, or property in the service of God. This is a very difficult part. You have to fight God with your property and life. That's very, very, very difficult. Somebody will say, oh, well, what about my aeroplanes, my cars, my daughters, my beautiful wife? You say, no, there's something about that. You can forfeit all of them for the sake of heaven, for the sake of God and heaven. Very difficult, isn't it? For an ordinary man like me and you. Okay. Uh, all selfish worldly Moses. True. Let me repeat the two. An earnest and ceaseless activity involving the sacrifice, if need be, of life, person, or property in the service of God. Mere brutal fighting is opposed to the whole spirit of jihad, while the sincere scholar's pen or preacher's voice or healthy man's contributions may be the most valuable forms of jihad. So for those of us who think jihad is getting up, taking bow and arrow, and pew, is jihad. That alone is jihad. No, jihad goes beyond that. And what is it? Let's read here. Let's read it again. Mere brutal fighting is opposed to the whole spirit of jihad, while the sincere scholars pen, what the scholars write for people to read, or preacher's voice, or the voice of the preacher, like I'm talking now. Pardon me if I'm not a preacher. Or the preacher's voice, or healthy man's contributions may be the most valuable forms of jihad. So jihad takes many forms. When you hear jihad, don't just think that it's fighting. No, you can fight. You can do jihad with your pen, defending the word of God, with your voice, preaching. So the preachers around the world, I salute you. I mean, both Muslims and Christians, the true preachers, I salute all of you. May God bless you all. Mm? Those who preach and write books for us to read, uh, write the scriptures and distribute them for us to read. To read. They sell them, that's okay. But some who are well to do even sell them for free distribution. Mm. I remember Sheikh Ahmed Sabur, Sheikh Muhammad Sabur, and whatnot. So this is through jihad. These are people who are, he's not the only one, there are others. These are people who know what religion is, who have held religion be Bikuwatan, held religion strong, very strong. Uh, let's go to, is it 21? Yes, 21. Ayah 21. What does it say? Uh, يبشرهم يبشرهم ربكم برحمة منه ورضوان وجنات لهم فيها نعيم مقيم لهم فيها نعيم مقيم. What does it say? Uh, yes. Oh, I'm reading the book rather. Okay, we are reading rather the notes. So we finished that. Okay, I can explain what lahum fiha makimun. Oh yes, yes, yes. I'm not mistaken. I'm not mistaken. We are on a fresh verse. Their Lord doeth give them glad tidings of mercy from Himself. Bashiruhum, Yubashiruhum, Rabuhum, Biramatin minhu. Their Lord doeth give them glad tidings of mercy from Himself. Waridwanin, Waridwanun, Wajanati, Waridwanun, Waljanati, of, of, of His, from Himself, of His good pleasure, of His good pleasure, Ridwan, Waridwanin, Wajanati, with of his good pleasure and gardens and jannat gardens lahum fiha ni'mun lahum fiha na'imun mukinun. Therein are delights and endure and are delights are delights that endure. I'm sorry. Let me take it again in English. Their Lord doeth giving them glad tidings of mercy comma, of his pleasure, Ridwanan, and gardens, Jannati, for them, wherein wherein are delights and that endure, wherein are delights that endure, Na'imun, Mukimun. I think we did this somewhere before. Na'imun, delights, na'imun, delights, plural, na'imun, mukinun, that endure, mukimun, that endure. Let's go to Psalm 22. Let's go to Psalm 22. Halidina fiha abadan, halidina fiha abadan. There, sorry, they will dwell therein forever, abadan, forever, abadan. Halidina fiha, dwell therein, abadan, forever, and forever, sorry. Anna Allah indahu Ajrun Azim. Verily, with God, inna Allah, inna, verily, with God, indahu, Ajrun Azim. With him is a reward, the greatest command, the greatest of all, Azim, Ajrun Azim, the greatest of all rewards. With God is the greatest of all rewards. Let's go to commentary for it, 7 to read. Let's go to commentary for it to read. Those who strive and suffer in God's cause are promised one, a mercy, especially from Him. Those who strive and suffer in God's cause are promised one, a mercy, especially from Him. Two, His own good pleasure. One, and His own good pleasure, His own good pleasure, His own good pleasure. And three, gardens of perpetual delight. Four, the supreme reward, God's own nearness. The supreme reward, God's own nearness. Full stop. These are in gradation. Column. One is a special mercy. I think we're going through the same thing again. Let's see. One is a special mercy, higher than flows out to all creatures. Two is a is a consciousness of God's good pleasure. Three, which raises the soul above self. Two, a consciousness of God's good pleasure, which raises the soul above itself. Is that state three is that state of permanent assurance, and four is the final bliss, which is the sight of God Himself, which is the sight of God Himself. The sight of God Himself is nearness. Nearness. I don't think that is telling that we see God with our own eyes. Nearness to God. Let me see if I can get what I was looking for. The consciousness of execution, the supreme reward, their gradations, a special mercy, which raises the soul, is that state of permanent assurance and is the final bliss, which is the sight of God. Here the verse says nearness. So the sight of God means that you are near Him. Even Moses, the prophet Moses didn't see God. He asked God to show His face. He said, "No, you can't see my face. You can only see my signs." Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go to is it 22? Is it verse 22? No, we just finished verse 22. We're going to 23. Sign 23. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا آباءكم وإخوانكم أولياء إن إن استحبوا الكفر إن استحبوا الكفر إن استحبوا الكفر على الإيمان. O ye who believe, take not for protectors your fathers or your brothers if they love infidelity above faith. Oh my God. Abraham proved it. Collected the fathers' idols, broke them with anger. When they came, he asked the father, tell them to speak. Those that are broken, tell them to speak. So don't take your fathers and brothers for protectors if they love infidelity above faith. ala iman, faith, kufra, infidelity, istahabu if they love, in istahabu if they love, in istahabu if they love, al kufra, infidelity, al kufra, infidelity, ala iman, above faith. ومن يتولهم منكم فأولئك هم الظالمين فما يتولوا منهم فأولئك هم الظالمين فمن يتولهم فمن يتولهم منكم أولئك هم الظالمين. If any of you do so, they do wrong. If anyone does love the father and the brothers more than faith, it's a wrong thing to do. They are wrong. Okay. Let's go to commentary for that. So we just are we read it? No. No, there's no commentary for it. It's the right ayah, but there's no commentary for it. Let's go to verse 24. Let's see. Kul in kana aba'akum in kana aba in kana aba'akum, say, if it is that your fathers aba'akum aw ibna'akum, your sons, aw ibna'akum, your son, aw ihwanukum, your brothers, aw ihnahukum, your brothers, aw aswajakum, your mates, wife or husband, aw ishwanakum, aw aswajakum, wa ashiranukum, wa ashiratukum, ashiratukum, let's see. Or your kindred, or ashiranukum, or your kindred, wa amwalun, your kindred, column, the wealth that you have gained, wa amwalum iktaraftukum, if iktaraftumuha, wa amwalun iktaraftumuha, or the wealth that you have gained. وتجارة تشون, the commerce تجارة وتجارة تشون, the commerce in which you fear a decline, the commerce in which you fear a decline, وتجارة تشون كسادها, that you fear a decline, or the dwellings in which you dwell, tashunaha kasada, wa masakinun tardunaha, wa masakinin but masakinun tardunaha, or the dwellings in which you delight. Tardunaha, delight, dwelling, masakinun, but masakinun tardunaha. Ahaba alaykum minallahi. Ahaba alaykum minallahi. in which you delight are dearer to you than God. Ahaba alaykum minallahi, you consider as more delightful than God. Hmm? Ahaba ilaykum, sorry, ahaba ilaykum min dunillahi, or the dwellings in which you delight are dearer to you than God. Ahaba ilaykum min dunillahi wa rasulihi, from dearer to you than God or his messenger, his God and his messenger, wa rasuluhu, wa jihadin fi sabilihi, or the striving in his cause, striving in his cause. So you see here, jihadin, that's war. Jihad is here even interpreted or explained as striving, not physical fight. So jihad is striving. In other words, that's another meaning of jihad, or striving in the name of God. Fatara, fatarabasu, hatta hatta yati Allahu bil amruhi, hatta yati Allahu bil amruhi, or his are dearer to you than God or the messenger, or striving in his cause, then wait until God brings about his decision. Fatara, fatarabasu hatta wait until yati Allah bi amrihi, until God brings about his decision. Bi amrihi. Wallahu la yah- wallahu la yahdi qaumal fasikun. Wallahu la yahdi qaumal fasikun. His decision, and God guides not the rebellious. So viewers, you can see that here when he mentions God, he also mentions his messenger. Wallahu wa rasuluhu, God and his messenger, that is, are dearer to you than God or his messenger. God or his messenger. I think a few days back I read somebody came and beat the test. Show me in the Quran where God says, I've forgotten what he said. Say prayers 5 times a day. Yes. Where God says, say prayers 5 times a day. Because he has read the Quran, or he believes he has read the Quran. But he has left something out. He left something out when he read the Quran. Because he didn't see verbatim, pray 5 times a day. So he challenged a Muslim to tell him where God says, pray 5 times a day. And that was naive, insufficient knowledge. That was ignorance of him. Because if it's here in the Bible, it's in the Quran, that we must obey God and his messenger. We must obey God and his messenger is a must. And if his messenger says, pray 5 times a day, are you not obeying the Quran? Is it not in the Quran? So people just say anything they like. They read, he has read that, but he just wanted to confuse some believers. You see, if the messenger has told us to pray 5 times a day, they were even more than that. Some say 40, some say he reduced it to 5 times a day. And you are telling us there is no 5 times a day prayer in the Quran. Ignoramus. Pardon me. And he failed to see that is there clearly in the Quran in many places that we must obey the messenger. God has asked us to obey the messenger. It's a command. And if the messenger says pray 5 times a day, do you need Do you necessarily need to see it written in the Quran? Oh my God. Oh my God. Of course, the Muslim brother who was debating with him that time couldn't have the time to, reflect well over it. But we, those who are listening or who are reading or who are viewing, know some of the facts or know the answer. So if that Muslim was not able to answer you at that very point, at that very time, the answer is there. I hope he's listening or he's viewing. Yes, you are right. There's no way in the Quran that God says we should pray 5 times a day. But it is clearly there in the Quran in various places that we must obey the Prophet who has told us to pray 5 times a day. You can't beat the Quran. It's very difficult. You can't say anything contrary. You can't criticize the Quran without reflecting upon the verses therein. Okay, let's see. La Yahdi, in his course, then wait until God brings about his decision, and God guides not the rebellious. Uh, Ahab, uh, Ahaba, Ahaba ilaykum, Allah wa rasulihi, Ahaba ilaykum, min Allah wa rasulihi, wa jihadin fi sabil. uh, فتربصوا حتى يأتي الله ب- آه، بال- بالأمره والله لا يهدي قوم الفاسقون. His decision, and God guides not the rebellious. So you can see that this is a rebellious person, and God didn't guide him. He wasn't well guided to see that what Muhammad says is indeed is in the Quran, whatever he says. Oh my God. Okay, let's go to the commentary for it. Did we do it? Are there two commentaries for it? Uh, yes, there are two commentaries on it. Commentary 1272 and 1273. Let's quickly do that and end the day. Uh, man's desire, man's heart clings to one, his own kith and parents, children, brothers and sisters, husbands or wives, or their relations or their relatives. Two, wealth and property, commerce or means of profit and gain. Or four, noble buildings for dignity or comfort. If these are hindrance in God's cause, we have no we have to choose which we love most. We must love God even if it involves the sacrifice of all this. Very difficult, isn't it? Very, very difficult. So common bicycle, somebody will not agree to forfeit common bicycle because of faith. No, because he suffered to buy it. He will not. Eh? Or you come and take my meal when I'm hungry and I'm ready to eat, and you take it away from me. Oh, you will see my eyes. Pardon me for laughing. Okay, let's go to the last commentary, that's 1273. If we love and if we love our earthly ties, if we love our earthly ties and comforts, profits, pleasure more than we love God, and therefore fail to respond to God's cause, it is not God's cause which will suffer. God's cause will not suffer because He's God. Whether we love it or not, whether we take it or not, He knows how to handle it. God's cause will not suffer. God's purpose will be accomplished with or without us. God's cause will be accomplished with or without us. US. But our failure to respond to His will must leave us bereft of grace and guidance, for God guides not the rebellious. Thank you very much. Ilalika Ibaba, au revoir. May God be with you all.